Alright everyone, since medyo suboptimal pa rin ang market conditions natin sa PSE, I've decided na for now, it might be best na kumuha ako ng 1 day a week. Okay? Tapos doon natin pag-uusapan yung crypto moving forward. Now, medyo paghahaluin ko na lang yun, no? Hahanapin ko yung timpla. But it will either be nakafocus dun sa mga rini-request nyo. So, today, dun ako nakafocus sa mga request. Or, sa mga pairs na mas major, mas significant, like yung mga Bitcoin, Ethereum, and things like that, no? Whether or not this is a format that will keep moving forward remains to be seen. But for now, I think ito yung best way na pwede natin gawin para mapagbigyan ko rin yung mga gusto na pinag-uusapan din natin ng crypto sa channel na to. Okay? So let's start off with GMT, no? Again, this is a requested na crypto na pair. Okay, so we're using the Binance chart and as you can see, nasa 4 hour ako agad. While normally we would do from a higher time frame pababa, since ang konti pa lang naman ng candles nito sa daily chart niya, I decided it would be best kung tumalo na tayo directly sa 4-hour chart. It's just much easier that way kasi mas meron na rin tayong structure. Okay? Now, for the RSI lovers out there na nanonood dito, I've decided to throw in yung RSI just for this specific pair para lang mapakita sa inyo na technically speaking, meron tayong RSI wall dito, no? Now, if you don't know what RSI wall is, you can check our Anatomy of a Scam series at pinapaliwanag ko doon kung ano yung RSI wall. But essentially, okay, yung shortcut version, it's an inflection point or very solid resistance/support point that you can see na nagpo-form sa RSI. In this particular instance, as you can see, nag-act siya as resistance here, support there, and nag-act siya ng resistance ngayon. Okay? Hence, may RSI wall tayo dyan. So, one of the ways na ginagamit natin yung RSI wall na yan is kung mabasag siya to the upside, that might be a sign na ready nang tumaas din yung price for a particular issue. In this case, GMTUSD. Okay? Now, I'm gonna put RSI away na so we can focus on the chart, no? Now, dito, ano ba yung pwede natin tingnan? So far, price has been grinding higher. Diba? Nagko-conso siya dito. We broke out, move higher, consolidated very briefly. Remember, for our chart lang to. Broke out higher. Tapos nag-form tayo ng parang bowl shape. Okay? Parang cup shape dito. Then we broke out higher. So, yung nangyayari ngayon dito looks very similar sa kung ano yung nangyayari dito. So, ang tanong is, gagayahin ba nitong portion na to yung nangyari dito before? Diba? Kasi medyo magkamukha kung titignan natin. Okay? Now, kung gagayahin niya to from before, that means na we have a little bit more time of consolidation prior to price breaking out once again. Siyempre, hindi naman po natin alam kailan siya biglang mag-breakout. However, if we're gonna take this as a potential pattern, then maybe, okay, pwede nating masabi na we are carving it out here, tapos ikot tayo dito, then we can break to the upside. Alright? Now, what else can we say from this? Pwede rin kasi na mas brief yung consolidation. Okay? Kasi from here, we could just break above tong mga highs na nag-form dito and start pushing back para balikan tong 3.86. Now, if mabasag natin yung 3.86, obviously, very happy yung mga breakout traders, new high tayo, and people are gonna start piling in again in hopes na the momentum generated by the new breakout will be enough to propel them into profits. Okay? Tapos syempre, yung mga bumili naman sa mga mas baba, baka magte-take profit na rin sila. So that remains to be seen what's gonna happen moving forward. However, kung from here, we break beneath tong 2.97, for me, hindi pa siya cause for panic. We could easily come back and tag tong mga highs na naiwan dito. Diba? Kasi dyan tayo nauntog nag-range tayo dito prior to breaking out. Diba? So hindi naagulat kung bumalik tayo dito. We could always channel down. Matagal pa yung potential price action. Hindi naman natin alam ano yung mangyayari So, pwedeng mauntog tayo, break here, untog dyan. Tapos kung makahanap tayo ng support here, see if we can push higher from there. Okay? Pero, let's say na mabasag altogether tong 2.6 and then we start trading deeper, perhaps balikan natin tong 2.01, then I think medyo delikado na to tignan, lalo na sa environment na meron sa crypto na pamisa-misang biglang nagkakaroon ng strong volatility, di ba? Baka ang mangyari nun, bumaba dito, pag nag-break tayo ng 2, which again, a lot of people believe, psychological number, di ba? Pag nag-break tayo ng 2, baka bigla tayong mag-severe drawdown, kainin natin yung strong move up na to, and balikan natin siya dito around 1.15 all the way hanggang 89 cents. Okay? So, kailangan konting ingat-ingat lang. If you want to trade this, I'm sure kung whether Binance kayo or FTX or kung ano pa man din yan, pwede kayong mag-set ng mga stops nyo, pwede nyo iset lahat. So be sure to maintain discipline lang para kung sakaling mangyari ang ayaw natin mangyari, ay hindi maakain ng merkado ang karamihan ng kinita natin. Next, tignan naman natin yung SOL, no? Now, itong SOL, may minark out na akong mga key levels dito sa weekly chart. Obviously, itong high na nag-form dito at 143 is a key level. Itong area na to, yung 122 where we essentially have an inflection point, acted as support here, resistance there, di ba? Tapos, when price broke above it, trinay niyang i-hold pero tumuloy, di ba? Parang kinain pataas, kinain din pababa, and after this move, tumuloy kagad siya. Di ba? So, I'm expecting na kung bumalik man tayo dito, it might act as a decent level of resistance. And then after that, yung next key level would be itong 75. Now, based purely sa weekly chart lang, okay, obviously, SOL is looking bearish. Bakit? Kasi ito na yung high, low, lower low, and so on eh. Diba? Pwedeng ito yung next na lower high mo, tapos mag-form tayo ng bagong lower low, and then we just simply start pushing lower from there. So, kailangan medyo maingat pa tayo in accordance dito sa higher time frame based sa nakikita nating structure, no? So far, sa awa ng Diyos, hindi naman nakain tong buong strong move na to the upside. Okay? But, it's working its way down there. So, konting ingat-ingat lang. Based purely from the weekly time frame, kung nabasag natin tong 75.34, the next level that we'll be looking at is itong high na nag-form dito, and that's at 58.39. Very deep, no? So, kailangan pag-ingatan lang po natin ng konti. Moving to the daily chart ng Solana, okay, one can argue that this is telling a slightly different story. First, pwede nating sabihin, hindi ba nag-form tayo ng parang large head and shoulders pattern dito? Sure. Diba? We can say that, and it can also be argued na more or less inabot na natin yung pattern target. Pattern target meaning kunin nyo yung high, kunin nyo yung neckline, measure it in reverse, diba? Something like that. It's not gonna be exact, kakapush siya ng konti, but we can argue na parang ginawa na niya yun. Hindi naman kailangan abutin yun ng tick perfect eh. Okay? The other thing we can say dito sa daily chart is there's an argument to be made na pwede tayo nag-form ng low here, high, higher low, higher high. Diba? And then we could be forming a higher low here. So this could be a signal of some type of reversal na parating dito sa Solana. Whether or not this continues to the upside, meaning mag-hold tayo dito, then we start pushing higher, remains to be seen. Okay? But because of that, meron tayo nung idea na yun in our head. If we can come back and break itong 143.53, then that opens up the possibility na ma-revisit natin tong high na naiwan dito, tong minor high na to at 157. Tapos, kahit na ba-break yan, hindi pa rin tayo pwedeng sobrang ma-excite. Ito ang problema kapag nag-downtrend na ang isang stock or isang crypto pair, no? Once we break out, it doesn't necessarily mean na dire-diretso na safe na ang lahat. Kasi we need to consider na along the way, marami siyang pwedeng pag-untugan. Now, in this case, once we can break out nitong 158 na to, itong mga lows na nag-form dito, itong support low, nag-form sa range na to, yan yung next na pwedeng pag-untugan ng price around 166. Okay? Once na nabasag yan, ayun, medyo mag-open up yung pwede natin tignan. Kasi yes, nandito pa rin tong double top na naiwan na to. Yes, meron pa rin tong mga highs na to. Pero, lumalawak yung range na pwedeng paglaruan yung price prior to hitting the next level of resistance. Dito kasi, where we are, kaya umangat to, may untog dito. Umangat to, may untog dito. What we want is for the chart to open up para mas malaki yung range that we can play in, para mas decent yung potential gains moving forward, and mas clear-cut yung structure sa atin, para lang ba mas madaling makahanap ng trade, mas madaling maka-form ng idea. Right now kasi, yes, you can buy it where it is, but walang kasiguraduhan na pwedeng tumuloy. And even if tumuloy, pwedeng mag-range lang muna siya dito, tapos bababa, or kung mag-range man dito, kahit mag-breakout, pwedeng mauntog naman dito, and so on. Okay? So, yun lang yung pinag-iingatan ko dito sa Solana. Now, the other thing is, if from here, we go down and we break beneath tong 75, then medyo delikado na kasi totoo na kumbaga nag-form na talaga sa bigger picture yung lower highs and lower lows. Diba yun yung pinag-uusapan natin kanina sa weekly chart. So a break from there, we likely come back and revisit tong nag-form na consolidation dito. Diba? Perhaps finding some type of reaction pagbalik dito sa mga previous highs around 57. But the likelier scenario is if mabasag yung 75, we likely come back dito sa mga 40s. Diba? 20 plus hanggang 40s na area kung nabasag tong 75. Pero again, kapag from here, we can push higher, break above 143 again. Then pwede natin siyang magpagmasdan ng mas maigi, no? Magiging mas kapansin-pansin siya sa akin kapag agaron kasi I'll be waiting for key levels to break dahil baka magbigay ito ng opportunity moving forward for us to trade this going long. Okay? If you want to trade this short, again, maybe wait na mabasag tong 75.34. Okay? But be aware, may levels pa rin dito to the downside. It's just that pag nabasag yan, it's really showing its hand. Parang obvious now where the market wants to go. It all just boils down to finding a decent entry na may magandang risk-reward, forming a trade idea around it, and so on. And then finally, pag-usapan po natin tong SLP. So again, one of the most requested na crypto na pair, no? So, medyo napag-uusapan ko talaga siya often. I mean, not just in YouTube, but with friends and other traders. This often comes up. Now, I personally don't trade SLP. In fact, the only crypto pairs that I trade, as in actually trade, hindi yung may hawak for hodl or whatever, yung that I actually trade are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Okay? Hindi ko na rin ina-actively trade yung Solana. I've narrowed down my focus, no? Now, from here, what can we ascertain dito sa SLP? Since we already looked at this last time, hindi ko na siya sisimulan sa weekly, no? Tatalon na ako diretso sa daily chart. Now, from here, we can see na we broken down beneath tong support at 0.015. Okay? Nung nabasag natin yung support na yan, ano yung nangyari? Price push down, tried to push higher, di ba? Tapos next candle niya, it tried to push higher again. Tinatry niyang labanan to try and close above that level of support. Bawiin niya. Pag makapag-close siya above here kasi babalik tayo sa range na to, 'di ba? Unfortunately, hindi po 'yun yung nangyari, no? It tried to move higher, nag-reject, and now we're starting to move back down to the downside. And yung next na level na nakikita ko where price could go to will be around 0.012 dito sa level na to. Okay? If that level can hold and we start pushing higher again, then I think for the meantime, baka magkaroon tayo ng range dito between 0.0124 hanggang 0.0154. Okay? Pero, let's say bumaba to dito, minor reaction lang, maliit na bounce, then we break beneath it, test it from underneath, then roll over. Pagka ganon, the likely scenario naman is babalikan natin tong previous range na to. Ito nag-form dyan, baka mag-trade tayo ulit dun sa range na yan between 0.0087 hanggang 0.0124. Okay, ang daming ang daming decimal places, no? Tapos syempre, kung nabasag tong 0.0087, then new low tayo, 'di ba? New all-time low, and this is just likely gonna dig deeper from there. Now, I know a lot of people got excited nung nag-pump tayo dito, tapos nag-pullback, nag-pump tayo ng konti dyan, tapos nag-breakdown na ng tuluyan, no? So, kung sakali man na naipit kayo dito, just make sure lang na sundan nyo yung plano nyo. Okay? Kung part ng plano nyo to hodl it until it's zero, de syempre ibang usapan yun, no? Pero hopefully, kung sakali man na naipit kayo, you were able to come out prior to price breaking beneath yung support natin at 0.0154. Okay? Now, ano yung mas bullish na scenario nito? First and foremost, price needs to come back and break above 0.0185 muna, first and foremost. Okay, kung mangyayari yon, then I can start thinking na, okay, babalikan ba niya tong range na to? Kasi after all, each time na mag-break tayo cleanly above nitong 0.018, diba? Titignan natin dito, nag-breakout siya dito, konso, tuloy, diba? Dito, nung pababa, wala diba? Tuloy-tuloy lang, bumaba. Pero dito, when we broke above the same level, it pushed higher. So I'm thinking na kung mabasag natin ulit tong 0.0185, then maybe that would be a sign na we can start pushing higher again. At the very least, mabalikan man lang natin tong 0.0293, no? But honestly, that feels too optimistic How do I say this? I feel like the better approach dito sa SLP would be simply to not trade it until the chart itself becomes cleaner. Okay, what do I mean? The reason why a lot of people like trading this, kasi konting galaw lang, ramdam mo na agad yung gains. Diba? Parang a few ticks up or a few ticks down, ramdam mo agad yung gains. But, ganon din siya eh. It's a double-edged sword eh. Konting galaw lang, pwedeng mahit na kagad yung stop loss mo, pwedeng magkaroon ka na kagad ng severe drawdown, 'di ba? Lalo na kapag nagkaroon ng slippage, 'di ba? Konting galaw lang, pwede ka biglang ma-margin call. 'Di ba? Especially with the way a lot of people like to use leverage. Now, before we end, I don't really have a lot more to say dito sa SLP. Before we end, I just want to answer a common question that I get about leverage. Paano ba ginagamit yung leverage? The way I use leverage and the way I was taught, diba, by my mentor to use leverage is you use it para lang mas protektado yung main capital mo. Hindi mo siya ginagamit as a tool para yumaman agad. Okay? A lot of people na nakikita ko, gusto nila, leverage sila kagad ng malaki para kapag nanalo sila, jackpot, biglang ang laki ng kita. Diba? Kasi nag-leverage ka eh. Pero konting galaw din lang, margin call ka agad. Ako, ang ginagawa ko, kunyari sabihin natin, for example, I was trading a $10,000 account. Okay? What leverage does is it allows me to deposit only $2,000 and trade as if I had $10,000 with my broker. Kung ganun yung ginagawa nyo, ang nangyayari is protected yung capital, meaning kahit na biglang magsara yung broker or biglang manakawan or whatever na hack or kung ano man, at least the bulk of your capital is protected because it's not with your broker. It's sitting in your bank account, it's sitting somewhere, and it's protected. Diba? Just by depositing $2,000 or $1,500, then adding on leverage, you can trade as if $10,000 in yung account nyo. So I didn't over-exceed my reach. $10,000 pa rin ang tinatrade ko. It's just that the leverage allows me some form of protection by letting me deposit only a small part needed to trade as if I was trading the full $10,000. But I wouldn't take yung $10,000 na yun nga yung tinatrade kong amount na buo, di ba? And trade it as if I had $100,000 because of leverage. Kasi kapag ganon, masusunog ka talaga. Yes, you can get away with it sometimes. Kapag sinerte ka, pwedeng jumakpat, malaking kikitain mo, tuwan-tuwa ka. Pero, that can only happen for so long. All it takes is one time kang malasin, lahat ng ginains mo wiped. Yung account mo sabog. Magkakautang ka pa, lalo na kapag ka nagkaroon ng slippage. Diba? Paano kung nagkaroon ng flash crash? Wasak na nga yung account mo, may utang ka pa sa broker. Diba? Kasi ganun yun eh. Kapag ka nag-exceed ka do sa amount na pwede mong gamitin, so to speak, pagka biglang nagkaroon ng flash crash, magkakautang ka pa. So, that's how I use leverage. That's how I was taught to use leverage. As protection for myself. Not as a get-rich-quick type of deal. Not as a get-rich-quick type of tool. Okay? Does that make sense? So, because of that, mas conservative talaga ang approach ko sa leverage in general. Now, dito sa SLP again, the reason why a lot of people like it kasi konting galaw lang niya, woohoo! Diba? 100% gains or 200 or whatever. Tapos add in leverage, biglang, oh, tinan mo, 1,000% ako in one day. But konting ingat lang kasi that can come back to bite you. I'm in this game for the long run eh. Okay? And because of that, I'm very protective of my capital. And I use every single way I know how to protect my capital. Kasi kung wala akong capital, wala akong bala. So guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video natin, no? I hope nakatulong po to sa inyo kahit konti and may natutunan kayo kahit papano. And if so, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!